Two men named George and Lennie think that they'll be able to get a nice farm after a whole month of working. But when a provocative woman starts flirting with Lennie, things get complicated. How do they deal with this? Let's read Of Mice and Men and find out. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be reviewing Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. So, Of Mice and Men is a book that I've been wanting to read for such a long time, but I was never ready for it because there's a book that I wanted to read specifically after it. Long story short, that didn't quite happen, but it's about to happen, so stay tuned. But anyway, so yeah, Of Mice and Men is the first John Steinbeck book I've ever read. I saw about maybe half of the Grapes of Wrath movie from the 40s, but I never finished it, and I haven't read the book either, so there you go. But Of Mice and Men, the thing I like about it is, just look at how thin this is. This is just very thin, so it's very easy to get through. I literally read it in one day. But anyway, so yeah, Of Mice and Men is about two guys, one named George, one named Lennie, and basically Lennie has some mental challenges, and so George is trying to keep those in check while also working on a farm and getting money to buy his own farm. But anyway, to explain all of that, I guess I should explain to you what Of Mice and Men is really about. So, Of Mice and Men opens with our two guys, George and Lennie, and George is a smaller but the critical thinking one. He's kind of the smart one, and Lennie is big, but he has a mental problem. We don't know what it is. We don't know what happened to him to get it that way, or maybe we do. I don't know. It says he was kicked in the head, but that was probably a lie. Anyway, he just has some sort of mental problem, so he's not exactly the smartest fellow out there. But he loves to pet small furry animals, that are very soft, like sheep, mice, puppies, rabbits, all that kind of stuff. But due to his big size, he unfortunately ends up killing them by accident, which is very unfortunate. So basically, George and Lennie have this dream of getting their own farm one day where they don't have to work anymore. They can just live in peace and be happy. And I guess they're friends. I don't know if they're brothers or not. It never makes that quite clear. I don't know. They could be brothers. They could be cousins. But they're probably just friends or whatever. I can't explain it to you. Anyway, so they get a job on this one farm, and they start working. And while on this farm, they meet a guy named Candy, who's basically, he's like rather old by now, and he's just been working on this farm forever. And so they kind of become friends and all that and whatever. But also, the boss that hired them, he has a son named Curly, and Curly is not a very nice guy. He starts teasing Lennie right away. But on top of that, Curly's also married to this very beautiful woman who loves to flirt around with other men. We don't know her name, by the way. We just know that she flirts around with other men. So, do with that what you will. Anyway, so when George sees that Lennie is starting to become attracted to this woman, he's like, yo, back off. That's Curly's wife. If something happens between you and his wife, Curly is going to just try to kill you or something. So Lennie's like, okay, I won't say anything. So anyway, they get to work, and then one day Candy tells both of them while they're talking about their farm life that Candy, since he's been working on the farm for so long, he's going to give them some money of his own, and then all of them are just going to live on the farm together. And George and Lennie are very happy about that. They're like, yeah, let's do that, right? So anyway, so now George and Lennie realize that they only need one more month to work because they get $50 at the end of the month or whatever, because Candy already has so much money, they only need to work for a month now. And so they keep working, and then one day, while George has gone out doing something with someone else, Lennie is just enjoying the animals, being sad over that one has accidentally been killed. And so Curly's wife goes and talks to him. They kind of talk about the animals for a little bit. And then she's like, I don't really like Curly. He's really mean and stuff. And also, he has really wiry hair. I just don't like his hair. But I have really nice hair. See, feel how soft it is. And so Lennie feels how soft her hair is. And of course, with his giant strength, I'm sure you know what's coming next. So he just starts feeling her hair with his big, strong hands, and then she gets worried because he's so strong, and then her screaming scares Lennie to where he accidentally snaps her neck and kills her. Yes, very unfortunate. So basically, after he accidentally kills Curly's wife by snapping her neck, Curly realizes that he messed up, which was specifically what George told him not to do, because throughout the story, George has told him to not mess up or anything, because then you're going to get me fired, and you're going to get you fired, and then we're never going to have our dream. So he just decides that instead of face up to his consequences, he's just going to run away. And that's when George and Curly and all them return later to find that Curly's wife has been dead. And so basically Curly decides to gather up a team of people to hunt down Lennie because they know it was him because of his size. So anyway, in the final minutes of the book, Lennie has been hiding out at a swamp, and George finds him because I guess he was so much farther ahead than the other guys. So anyway, so they're just kind of sitting, talking about their dreams still by the creek. And then George is like, look across the river. Just imagine the farm that we can have over there. You can have all the rabbits and animals you want and stuff to pet over there. And Lennie's like, this is a nice dream. And so while Lennie's distracted by the dream, George pulls out a pistol and shoots Lennie in the back of the head, killing him. Yeah, very unfortunate, I know. So anyway, after that, they find Lennie's body that George has shot, and then he heads back with them, presumably to continue work on the farm. But that is how Of Mice and Men ends. So overall, what did I feel about Of Mice and Men? Well, I think it's a really short story. It's like the copy that I had only has 107 pages, so it is very short and by no means long at all. I literally got through it in a day. But I will say that it is kind of depressing at the end because, of course, what happens. And I will also say that I didn't really understand it as much as I thought I would because of not only how short it is, but just kind of how much nothing happens. I mean, it's not a boring nothing, but literally, like, most of the book is just them either working on a farm or talking about what they're going to do when they get their own farm. So there's not really a lot going on in terms of actual story there, but it still is a very good story. I can see why it's a classic. It absolutely is. But I also love the theme of, like, the American dream actually being an illusion because of, like, working and stuff. Hey, you actually have to work to get what you want, and even if you do work to get what you want, you still won't be able to get what you want because that's just how life is. So I think it portrays the unfairity, I guess you could say, of life, which I thought was really interesting. But also, by now you're probably wondering, why is it called Of Mice and Men? Where does that come from? Well, so Of Mice and Men is actually a line in a Robert Frost poem. I don't remember the entire thing, but it's like the struggle with of mice and men or something like that. It's basically about like fragility and stuff and like how things aren't what it seems or something. I don't really remember what the poem is, but it's something along the lines that the book represents. It's like what you want can actually happen or whatever. So that's basically what the poem is about and where Of Mice and Men actually comes from. But anyway, so did this book make me want to read more John Steinbeck? Yes. As a matter of fact, I have The Grapes of Wrath right over here on my bookshelf, but I just have not read it yet. So I guess stay tuned for the future when I decide to read Grapes of Wrath. Because as I said, I saw like the first half of the movie in 9th grade, and then we just never finished it because in the next semester I went to a different class. So there's nothing I can do about that. So I would definitely be interested in both finishing that movie and reading the book. But also, I want to check out more of John Steinbeck's works as well. It's like I've heard that East of Eden is another one of his most popular ones. Yeah, I think his big three are like Of Mice and Men, Grapes of Wrath, and East of Eden and stuff. So yeah, that's very interesting. I certainly want to check those out. But anyway, yeah, go read Of Mice and Men. It's very short, it's very sweet, and even though it came out in the 30s, I think it's still very relevant today. So please, do yourself a favor and go read Of Mice and Men. But that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. So I really want to reread it in the future because, as I said, I didn't really understand what it was about, but I think a subsequent reread will kind of help with that. And on top of that, I would also want to read The Grapes of Wrath and East of Eden because those are like John Steinbeck's other two most famous works besides of Mice and Men. But anyway, so yeah, I guess look forward to those in the future. But anyway, yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like and subscribe down below because I'm almost to 300 subscribers, so I would really love to reach 300 subscribers. I would be very grateful. And while you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck, any book recommendations, or just books in general. I always read your comments. I love reading your guys' comments. But anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say to you today. This has been BG's Books, and I've been Mr. BG, and I will see you guys in the next video.